Well, Perplexity making an unsolicited offer for Google Chrome as the AI startup looks to make a breakthrough in web search. The $34.5 billion bid is nearly double Perplexity's own $18 billion valuation. It also puts Apple's AI strategy back in the spotlight, with earlier reports saying the iPhone maker explored an acquisition of Perplexity itself. For more on the potential deal, let's bring in Nilay Patel, editor-in-chief of The Verge and host of the Decoder podcast. Nilay, great to have you with us.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
How long of a long shot do you think this is?
Oh, this is a stunt. I mean, can we just be honest? It's a stunt. Google does not want to sell Chrome. They might be forced to sell Chrome at the end of a long legal process, which they are currently appealing. That legal process, the counterparty is the United States government, which is currently led by Donald Trump and the Department of Justice, led by Pam Bondi. And I think that administration would much rather use this lawsuit to force Google into concessions to make a deal than actually run the process to a divestiture of Chrome. I think Perplexity needs attention. They need to drive app installs. They need investor interest. Saying they're going to buy Chrome for slightly more than Google paid for Wix, which was their biggest acquisition, is an incredible stunt. Good for them. If they actually wanted to buy Chrome, they would do whatever other tech CEO is doing, and they would show up in the Oval Office with the gold bars and ask Donald Trump for a favor.
So this is all just a PR stunt? I mean, that's all there is to it. What do they get out of this besides us talking about Perplexity? Does it make actually people go and use it?
There's an element of that for sure. Perplexity fashions itself as a competitor to Google search, right? They want to be an answer engine, and they need distribution. They need attention. They need people downloading the app. One of the most common stats I hear in the entire app business is that the average number of apps the average person downloads every single day is 0. So you need to drive attention. TikTok, which is a wonderful product that lots of people love, spent billions upon billions of dollars on Meta platforms to drive app installs. So if you want to compete with Google, you need distribution as wide as Google has in order to get the Google search box in front of people, or a search box in front of people. The two most powerful search boxes on the internet are in the Chrome browser and in the Safari browser on mobile, which is why Google pays to be the default there, and why Elon is threatening to sue Apple over the App Store rankings for Grok as opposed to ChatGPT. So the race to become the default search box for all of these AI models is on. Any amount of attention you can drive, any amount of pressure you can put on Google and its legal troubles is good for Perplexity.
Nilay, the rumors about Apple Perplexity, it might have made sense a year ago when the thing was, at a $4 or $5 billion valuation, and maybe you paid like 8 or 9 or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not something that would be integrated into the OS. I think that's something we could probably agree on right now. What sort of acquisition do you think Apple should make if they're trying to play a little catch up, in the AI race? Because again, there's not a company that's been particularly acquisitive. The last one was a bomb that was, I think, Beats for like $3 billion 10 years ago. Thoughts on what Apple should do?
Yeah, Apple's issue with acquisitions is not identifying technology or having the capital to buy whatever it is they want. It is culture fit, right? If you want to sell your company at Apple, you are going to end up as an Apple employee. The Beats acquisition is particularly funny because Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, and Trent Reznor ended up as just some more Apple employees, and they were miserable and they left, and that's what happened with Beats. That is a pretty incredible thing to put upon Dr. Dre and Trent Reznor, by the way. You're just another Apple employee. If you buy Perplexity, you get a pretty Wild West startup culture, a pretty Wild West founder who's willing to do stunts like offering to buy Chrome for, which is not for sale. And that is not part of Apple's culture. I think what Apple is trying to say is, look, the capabilities of the frontier models are important for Apple Intelligence. We will put them in various places as we see fit. It is just more commodity technology to us. They've talked for a long time about how Google might be integrated alongside OpenAI in some of the Apple Intelligence products. You can see how they might want to do that with something like Perplexity as well. But the actual kind of acquisition, like the big dollar culture reset acquisition, they're pretty hesitant to do that, even though I think Tim Cook on last earnings call said they would acquire if they need to. The thing you're really talking about with Apple in particular is its ability to integrate culture. And historically, they have been extremely hesitant to do that.